Cinnamon Rage here, and welcome to the penultimate race of the F6 League in AOR. And this week we moved to the US, and that's race 14. And I'd been doing a bit of practice and felt relatively comfortable this track. So you can see here I'm about to go into my hot lap, the best lap I did during qualifying, and I'll just talk my way through it. This corner had been quite problematic. You can see, in fact I don't lock up, I assumed I would have locked up, but apparently not. But dropping to third for that corner, coming around here, I can basically hold full speed through here, and at this point I just drop a gear, and it just stabilises, coming off but not braking down into fifth, trying to take as much of that as possible, and then going in a wee bit slow into the first so that I can get up through the gears quite quickly as I go over the rise and fourth into fifth. Coming down here, I don't need to, or I do drop into eighth, but don't normally need to. Try and get into third while holding the car as stable as possible, which is quite hard in the turn, and then just kind of going up through the gears as per normal in DRS as soon as possible. Coming down to the end of the DRS straight, about the 100 metre board, braking, dropping in third at the last moment, on the power as quickly as possible, dropping a couple of gears and turning in, beginning to eke out the power as I go into this, staying quite wide, going into third and taking as much apex as possible, again trying to hold it steady, though you can see I did lose a wee bit of traction there. This section here is full speed, and as we come into this bend, drop a couple of gears into fifth, take again as much curve as possible, power down up into sixth, and then dropping to third for the final corner of the lap, and just trying to hold it steady. And that was a 1:33.984, and it was actually the only time to get into the 1:33s. Edited fawn was only 0.08 of a second off me, so yep, second pole of the season, pretty chuffed with that, and means I get to start at the front of the grid, which is always a wee bit scary, as the first corner's quite a tight one, and obviously I'm going to have 13 other cars coming up that hill pretty quickly. So yeah, on to the race. So going to try and keep it clean here into the first corner, and this was actually for me really quite a decent start. It's not one of my strong suits, but I've been working on it, trying to improve them. I tuck in early just to try and dissuade people from coming up, and actually it turns out fawn protected me pretty well there. So I had a good clean start, and actually I got off to a wee flyer here. I'd been doing kind of quite a few practice races on this week, so yeah, I made good progress. Fawn's still close, but I do start to eke out a wee bit of a gap. But what you're about to see here is a mistake, and to understand a mistake you have to understand my steering wheel. I've got a Fanatec Xbox One hub, universal hub, and the joystick is what you use to kind of move left, right and change fuel mixes. You can see I'm going down playing a bit with my setup a wee bit, but unfortunately if you click the joystick, which is kind of easy to do, it brings up the Xbox menu. Now Xbox Record that doesn't actually copy it, but you can see that appear for a wee second, and once I backed out of it I'd lost, yeah, I missed my braking point, and that caused me to essentially drop 2 places there as fawn and the tow goes past. Don't mind fawn going past because obviously we do battle in Malaysia, so yeah, just kind of continue on at this point. Just really annoyed that I did that, but the button on the wheel is just not very cleverly designed. Love the wheel, but yeah, that joystick, whatever they call it, I don't know why they put the Xbox button there. It should have been a separate button. Now you can see here as I go in, Simo hits me and knocks me wide, but he did give me this place back, but then the game decides it was an illegal overtake even though he gave me it back, so I try and pull into the side to let him past, but he doesn't go past because he doesn't want to take the spot off me, and that allows Prowlix, and then for some reason a tool comes in pretty heavy there and does wing damage, and I was just like, yeah, I can't be bothered with this, so I decide rather than struggling I'd just pit and take whatever comes. But because the game claims that I never actually gave space back to Simo, I get a 5-second penalty, and then I have a wing change, it was a fairly brutal pit stop, to be honest. 13 seconds, that was 10 seconds lost through front wing change and the 5-second penalty. So that is me. I don't know if I'll actually see it before the end, but I'm pretty sure I was around about 12 seconds off the current. Nope, 17 seconds. I was just miles off the last car. So at this point I was 2 points ahead of Germo in the championships in third place, so this was not good. But my pace round here had been kind of decent, and you can see that I do manage to catch up quite a bit. But yeah, I'm catching up with the back markers. This isn't where I wanted to be. I'd qualified pole, skipping somebody in the pits there, but yeah, just race was kind of wrecked. Again, I feel like I have so many little bits where someone just drifts off and I end up taking wing damage every single time. So it does get a wee bit tiring, to be perfectly honest, but there's not really a lot I can do about it, to be fair. And it does, to an extent, give me quite exciting races as I have to fight back through the field. This is me coming up on Popperdom. Simo seems to have crashed there, put it in the wall. I can't remember if that was actually race ending for him or not. It's hard to see if he's moving. Popperdom, I think, got a wee bit of a fright from me going up his inside, but yeah, tons of room for both of us. So that's me. I come up on Marklin here, who sometimes can be quite laggy. He's Canadian based, so yeah, it's quite a distance for the old signal to travel, but hopefully AOR is introducing a North American league, and therefore I can join that and be less problematic. But this is me coming up on Jake-Su, and I kind of ran him a wee bit tight, but I did try and move back out as quickly as possible. So cutting forward a wee bit onto lap 14, caught up with Marklin again, but I make a bit of a meal of that, and to be honest, Germo bearing down on me for quite a while on two sort of compounds faster than what I was on. So yeah, I decided not to fight it. There was no point. I was just going to risk both our races. So that's Germo ahead of me, but just a bit annoying that I just seem to be making silly mistakes. But I do get past Marklin here, and although running it a wee bit tight here, but I still have the inside line for this corner and the next. So yeah, managed to at least get the move done, and that's me up into 6th place, but I still have another pit stop to go, I think. In fact, maybe even 2. So I'm running about 60% here, which was about normal for this lap 19 of 28. So yeah, this was my, I guess, technically last pit stop, and I'm going to come in for ultras. I worked out I could do about 11 laps, or 9 laps, sorry, on them. So just pit early, pit as soon as I can, and just see if I can make the time back up. You can see Germo's just gone past again, but I am at first to compound, and Bayfield's going to get past as well. Again, I'm still at a compound faster, so and they'll have been on those tyres for a wee bit at this point. So I did have a relative hope that I'd be able to catch at least Bayfield up quite quickly and minimise the damage to my 3rd place hopes in the championship from Germo. And just dropping out of the fast forward, I get a good run up onto Bayfield, going onto the home straight. DRS, rich mix. I've still got quite a lot of rich mix. He moves into defensive line, but I think this time I just didn't quite have the room to do it. Kind of like quite clean. Obviously you can see us lean into each other a wee bit. I realise I took a bit too much curb, so I just back out at this point because there's more chance of me spinning than anything else. But yeah, so no, it was a wee wheel touch, but yeah, still a kind of nice level of aggression. And I get another run at him on DRS on the 2nd of the DRS straights. I got a lot more speed going in here, got a lot further alongside, but just not a lot of room there. So still not quite going to happen for me. So just fast forwarding again to my next attempt. I was doing quite well, but you can see Guillermo at this point actually begin to get away as we battle, which was not ideal for me. But Bayfield takes a wee bit too much curb and pushes me over to the left, but it was okay. He still left me room. It wasn't like Schumacher, Barrichello that time, so I wasn't getting too close to brushing off the wall, and that was me past. So yeah, this was a kind of good wee run, and you can see if we jump onto lap 25 out of 28, I'd caught up quite heavily with Guillermo at this point as well, but we'd come across Markle and Prue, who were just in front of us, and yeah, I was never going to fully commit unless I really was quite far alongside. This close in the race, it would have been a bit daft. But you can see Prue and Marklin are fighting quite heavily, and I think that kind of maybe allowed me, I was catching up at about 1.5 seconds a lap on Guillermo, so I don't know if that was partly responsible. But you can see here some, it was exciting to watch, shall we say, driving between Marklin and Prue. I've slow-moed this a wee bit, just as you can see how far they go out to the left. And unfortunately for me, that just opens up a massive gap for Guillermo to go down, but not enough for me basically to make the move. So he gets round them both, but yeah, Marklin's just going wide and he basically barges me off the track. So that would have been fine, except for, once again, I get told to hand the position back. So rather than do this and then have to fight it with a steward's inquiry afterwards, I just pull in and let him pass because I knew I was quicker, and honestly I kind of regret doing that. I should have just taken it and then argued it afterwards, although I think it would have worked out about a 10-second penalty at the end, and if I hadn't got that removed it probably would have been worse. But at this point that's it, Guillermo's passed everyone, and now I'm coming up on the fighting Marklin and Prue. And honestly, yeah, it just kills me at this point. As I say, I was catching him at about 1 second and a bit of lap. In fact, I think even maybe even slightly faster than that at this point, but I just lose everything. I lose any gap that I'd built up or any potential I'd had. You can see Marklin seems to kind of go as if he's going full wide, and then he just clips right in, bashing me, so I got a corner cutting and a 3-second penalty because it took such a strange line. So yeah, it was hard. I was kind of following, I was way faster than them both, and yeah, my race was getting ruined. As you can see again, a really late dive here. I tried to put the power in, but with those two fighting, it just meant I kept getting, like, they just get pushed wide, bumps into me. There's really just a passenger at this point. I'm just getting bashed about a wee bit, and I've got nothing I can really do about it. So coming round here, we're coming on to the last lap. So my chances of actually getting past them were running out at this point. I was picking up penalties. Again, another really wide line there. I'm just having to brake so much to avoid all this. Really was destroying my race, and you can see Guillermo's already around the top corner, the first corner. Quite pleased with this move. We kind of cut back on Marklin. Didn't quite get Prue, but it turns out Prue's tyres are on about 90% wear, and this corner, the next corner, you want to ease off the brakes here, or ease off the accelerator even, but he's just so slow. Again, tyre wear. It's just near impossible to race when someone's got that kind of tyre wear. They're just, so yeah, got a wee bit of a clip again just because Prue's going so slow and such worn out tyres, and that was like Marklin back past again, and then Prue comes down the inside and just knocks me wide. So I'm really dropping off Marklin by this point, and yeah, I could have been challenging, but you can see there actually headed to Fawn 1, so I'm really chuffed with him because he's just the worst luck. So seeing him getting a win was pretty awesome. and come around the corner you can actually see I'm in 6th place, but I had one less penalty than Marklin, so I end up jumping to 5th. So that means every race I've completed since the first, I've had 5th place. But with Guillermo finishing 4th, that gave him a 2-point advantage, and that means we're now level points. He's ahead because he's got more second place, we both have 1st, so on to the last race. Cheers and see you soon.